Cereal time, cereal time, cereal time, whoa.
One free and special Shreddies. One free and special Shreddies. One free and special Shreddies.
What's up, cereal heads? Today we're going to talk about Shreddies, the cereal. And I feel like I have to specify because if you type Shreddies into Google, one of the first sites that pops up is for Shreddies flatulence underwear. That's right, there's an underwear brand called Shreddies that uses a carbon filter in the rear to reduce odor when you fart. But the reviews are mixed on this underwear. Apparently you have to stand and sit correctly to make sure that the gas doesn't escape around the filter, and why am I even still talking about this? That's not the Shreddies we're here to discuss today. This is the Shreddies we're here to talk about. Yep, this classic cereal made of lattices of whole grain wheat. It's Canada's Chex. Well, that's not really fair to compare it. Shreddies has its own long and storied history. And allow me to apologize in advance for any inaccurate reporting or mistakes I might make in this video. See, Shreddies isn't an American cereal, so it's not something I'm really well versed in. But let's give it a try. It was first produced by Nabisco back in 1939 in Ontario, Canada. And supposedly, they weren't originally called Shreddies. For the first 2 years of production, this cereal went by the name of Cubs. Now, Shreddies started being produced by Nabisco in the UK in 1953. Eventually, Nabisco's cereal was bought by Post here in North America and sold off to Nestle over in the UK. So nowadays, Canadian Shreddies are made by Post and UK Shreddies are made by Nestle. And I believe Shreddies were briefly introduced here in the US around 1976 and then quickly discontinued, but I don't have 100% proof on that. All I know is that this cereal is extremely popular outside of US markets. They've had many different versions and marketing campaigns over the years. Let's start with the Canadian version of Shreddies since that's the OG version. They've had good old original Shreddies, but then they've also had varieties like Honey, Granola Almond Crunch, which was just regular Shreddies with granola almond clusters in it, and most recently they offered this banana bread flavored Shreddies. This stuff has a real artificial banana flavor to it, but I love it. Top this stuff with some fresh sliced bananas, and oh man, my mouth is watering just thinking about it. As for the ads and commercials for Shreddies in Canada, well, they've had a few different campaigns over the years. In the late 80s, they had two mascots, Freddy and Eddie, who were just anthropomorphized pieces of Shreddy cereal. There are dozens of commercials like this featuring Freddy and Eddie.
3, 2, 1, lift off! Awesome! Freddy, look out the Stargate!
Who are you?
We're Eddie, the good whole wheat Shreddies! Eddie, the Milky Way! Whee! See you next time!
Good, whole wheat Shreddies.
Then by the early 90s, they changed Freddy and Eddie's appearance. One of them got a baseball cap. They made him a little hipper and cooler, maybe to appeal to teens.
Kids work hard for good marks. Really? Let's go! Excellent marks! Shreddies!
Good! Whole wheat Shreddies!
By the late 90s, they had sent Freddy and Eddie to the cereal mascot graveyard in favor of marketing this cereal to adults as a healthy breakfast. No more need for a mascot when you're not appealing to kids anymore. Kinda disappointing. Okay, so let's hop across the pond and talk about the UK version of Shreddies. They've had a couple varieties over there as well. Besides the original version, the UK has seen Frosted Shreddies, Cocoa Shreddies, and for a limited time they had Cocoa Caramel Shreddies as well as Cocoa Orange Shreddies. This last one here sounds amazing to me. Chocolate and orange, that's a heck of a combination. I'm sad I missed out on this one when it was on shelves. As for their ad campaigns, well, the boxes of Shreddies or malted Shreddies had Tom and Jerry on them back in the day. Then in the 80s they had these commercials with a band of crows as the mascots. And I don't mean a band of crows like a group of crows. Actually, that's called a murder of crows. Anyway, I mean like a real band who would play music.
Don't want fire crazies, I just don't need all that. I just want a bowl that's good and whole, and this is where it's at, you're so square. Shreddies, I don't care. I don't know why my spoon flips, I only know it does. I wonder why I love you, Shreddies. I guess it's just because you're so square. Shreddies, I don't care.
It's the way they put the whole wheat, malt and vitamins together that makes Shreddies squarer than the average breakfast.
Then the 90s saw an introduction of a new mascot called Hunger. These ad campaigns featured a strange-looking blue creature who would harass you when you needed to eat. Check it out.
Romeo, wherefore art thou?
Well, hello. They call me Hunger.
Juliet! Didst thou not have Shreddies for breakfast?
It's Shreddies with their layer upon layer of whole wheat and great taste that keep hunger locked up till lunch. Shreddies and Frosted Shreddies keep hunger locked up till lunch.
But the most popular ad campaign for Shreddies in the UK had to be the Knitting Nanas. Even I heard about and saw these ads way over here in the US when they started this campaign around 2007. It featured grandmas knitting each piece of Shreddies cereal.
What's the secret to the great taste of Shreddies? Only Shreddies are knitted by Nanas.
Oh, that one looks yummy, Ruth. It isn't easy to knit the perfect taste everyone loves.
Shreddies needs a Nana's touch.
The secret recipe? 4 layers of whole grain, lovingly knitted into one delicious square.
That's secret, love.
That's Betty, our top knitter.
Less chat and more Shreddies, ladies.
Another perfect batch.
Ship 'em out.
Eat up, everyone. We'll knit more.
Now that campaign was super successful and they stick with it for years. I'm not quite sure when those ads stopped because I don't live over in the UK. But these days the slogan for Shreddies is Shreddy or Not. And they have an entirely new ad campaign based around that slogan, which unfortunately doesn't feature knitting nanas. Okay, so we spent all this time talking about the UK and Canadian Shreddies, but we still haven't tried the cereal. So let's open this box of Canadian Shreddies. You can tell it's the Canadian version because they have both English and French on the front. So here's what a bowl of Shreddies cereal looks like. You can see it kind of looks like wheat Chex that we have here in the US, but there's just a little something different about these pieces. I wish I had some wheat Chex right now to compare them to, but you can see that it looks like they have tighter lattice work there with more holes in the pieces. And these Shreddies definitely seem sturdier and denser than wheat Chex. Let's hit them with some milk. So yeah, they definitely have more of a crunch to them than wheat Chex. They seem to say crispier in milk too. The flavor's just kind of malty or wheaty, if that makes any sense. There's a little sweetness to them, but it's subtle. Overall, this is a classic, great cereal. There's a reasons why Canadians have loved this thing for over 75 years. And let me just reiterate, that banana bread version is scrumdiddlyumptious. Honestly, I don't know why Post doesn't distribute this cereal in the US. I mean, sure, Chex probably has the market share, but having the market share doesn't stop Post from creating multi-meal knockoffs of famous brands. So why not make their own version of Chex here in the US? I know I'd love to see Eddie and Freddie make a triumphant return to the cereal aisle. Alright, well, that's gonna do it for Shreddies cereal. As always, thanks for watching. Until next time, stay crunchy. Ooh, look, I got one of the special diamond Shreddies.